in the Time of Hydra, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 10th anniversary podcast. We're recording this episode a little late, so we're just going to pretend it's April 19th and take it back 10 years. On April 19th, 2016, the top song was Work by Rihanna. Jake. And the top movie at the domestic box office was The Jungle Book, which I never saw. New York voters went to the polls for the primaries. Princess Sophia of Sweden announced the birth of her son. And Lin-Manuel Miranda won a Pulitzer Prize for Hamilton the night before.
Oh, very nice.
So I still counted it. Let's see. Tim Curry turned 70. Kate Hudson turned 37. My boy Hayden Christensen turned 35. And Shang-Chi himself, Simu Liu, turned 27. Big day, April 19th was I. But obviously, what happened, the most important thing that happened was the team. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode aired on ABC. I'm Jamie Jirak. I'm here with my co-host boyfriend and level 3, soon to be level 4, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, Tony Paletto. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining, watching, listening in. The coolest thing about the Jon Favreau Jungle Book is that when they get to King Louis, it's voiced by Christopher Walken, and they film him like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. They make King Louis Captain Kurtz from Apocalypse Now, like literally matching shots and gestures and stuff. It's awesome. That's all I remember from it.
That's really funny. All right. Well, I'm really excited for our guest today because for the second week in a row, we have one of our close, dear, wonderful, beautiful friends from Phase Hero, but you also know her from YouTube. Her channel, Go Read Some Comics, is awesome. She is the biggest comics expert we know. Jenna Anderson is here.
Oh, you're muted, girl.
I am muted. I was trying to unmute myself and wave at the same time. I was so distracted by the Marlon Brando Jungle Book of it all. I'm like, that is the best endorsement I've ever heard for a movie that I had no business seeing. Like, I'm gonna go watch that now.
It's so good.
I feel like I've heard that one's not that bad.
No, it's pretty good.
To the other.
Yeah, and it ends with a really good cover of Trust in Me as sung by Scarlett Johansson in a very sultry, jazzy voice.
Okay.
Which rocks. It's got a lot going for it on that one.
All right. Well, you've heard Tony's movie endorsement of the day. Jenna, it's so good to have you back. I realize it's almost been exactly a year since you were here last time. You were here to talk season 2, episode 16, Afterlife, and that was a very Inhumans heavy episode. You're back for another very Inhumans heavy episode. So first, I just want to ask, like, what was it like jumping back in? Because it feels like you kind of connected pretty quickly. I feel like you haven't missed much in a year.
I like kept gaslighting myself of like, have I missed more than I remembered? Because I definitely remember watching this season, but I don't remember a lot of the specifics of it, like 10 years after the fact. I also think part of it was by this point, like there was a comic book show on or two, like every single day of the week between like this and the Arrowverse and everything else that was going on. But like jumping back in and seeing like, oh yeah, these characters were at this point in their relationship. This is what this was going on. Like that was very interesting to see in a season that isn't as easily defined as like the start of season 4 was, for example.
Totally. And we wanted you on today because of your comics knowledge, because, this is the Secret Warriors episode, kind of, and like, we'll get into that aspect of it. But before we get like into specifics, I'm just curious, because I don't know your personal history with Secret Warriors. Were you like, I think it was 2009?
Mm-hmm.
Were you reading it then? What was going on with you in this comic?
It's like one of those teams that is just kind of like out there in the Marvel universe, like as soon as they were introduced. Like there are so many different iterations of them. There's so many different like ways that they can be thrown into a story. I wasn't like necessarily actively reading their book at the time, but I definitely was aware of their existence.
Cool. I want to say hello to everyone in the chat. A lot of familiar faces, including one of our favorite guests, TJ. Hi, TJ.
TJ.
Nice to see you. Some notes, some stuff. We're back on Sunday, so we'll be here just in a couple more days to talk the Singularity. 1:30 instead of 1, so we're just starting a half hour later. No big deal. But we have a really fun guest. Cullen Douglas is going to be our guest. He played Edison Poe in season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So he's going to talk to us a little bit about his time on the show, but then he's just a fan of the show. So we're just going to chat with him about this episode that he's not in because he just really wanted to chat with us. He seems like
and we said yes.
Yeah, we were like, we'd love to have
him. We said you're allowed.
No, I'm really excited. I'm also excited because Cullen is not just on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He is in what I think might be considered the greatest episode of television of all time, which is Twin Peaks: The Return, episode 8. So we will be taking some time to ask him about what it was like to work with.
We're going to ask him, is this the water?
Yeah.
Is this the well?
Exactly.
Drink your fill.
Can't wait for that. Also, I want to plug something. I want to plug that everyone check out when it comes out. Keep an eye out. Slayerfest 98's episode for the season 4 finale of Angel Home. Ian invited me to come chat with Stephanie Romanov, who plays Lila on Angel, and she is a riot. We had so much fun. So please enjoy that. Also, we have some new listeners thanks to I was on New Rockstars talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So thank you to everyone who found the show through that. I've been seeing your messages. I really appreciate it. Tony, since we have some newcomers, why don't you explain how this show works?
You know what? I've never felt like the rules are more important. I feel really like I'm serving a function here. The rules is tag your spoilers. Just put spoiler alert if you're going to say anything in the comments regarding anything beyond this episode in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm watching the show for the first time. We want to protect people who are possibly joining us live, who are going on the same journey with me, seeing every episode new each week. So tag your spoilers, and this is important. Our producer, Maria, will stab you with a knife she forged herself if you don't do that.
Yeah, that's pretty much that's it. So thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to Being Threatened every week. The team was written by a friend of the show, DJ Doyle, who's been on a couple times. We love him. It was directed by Elodie Keene. She has done a lot of TV. She's done Charmed, Glee, American Horror Story, a bunch of stuff, but this was her only Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode. So we missed our chance to have her on the podcast. Sorry. Whoops. That's that information. Tony, what do you think of this episode?
I took it a lot.
Yeah.
This is a really good episode. We've had a couple, it's been up and down these past few, but this one cooked. There's a lot popping off. I'm not in love with how it ends, but we'll talk about that. I think I really liked the Secret Warriors. I thought they were badass, and I'm kind of a little sad that they've been already dismantled after doing such a good job and being really proud of them. But no, I like this one.
Yeah. I think this is agree. I think this is a great episode of television. It's like it's all coming together. This hive shit we've been dealing with for this whole half of the season. I think it's such a good episode of television. My only thing is, it was like they really push Secret Warriors. Like I shared the trailer today, and they literally were calling this Secret Warriors Unite, and then they had 5 minutes of being Secret Warriors, and then they were done. And so like that sucked. That's a bummer. And I feel like people love this episode as an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, but I feel like some comics fans had some issues, and that's where I want to take it to you, Jenna, about how you feel about this just as an episode. How do you feel about it as a comics fan? This is why you're here today. So let us give it to us.
I was so pleasantly surprised jumping into this episode, not having caught up on season 3 in so long. And again, like, not really remembering a lot of the bits and pieces, and like how accessible this episode was of like having kind of a bottle premise of like, we are stuck in the headquarters and like, we're trying to sniff out the mole. I thought that was really interesting. And I thought that the way that it played out was really cool, while still tying in stuff that I know was in play for the entire season. I agree with you of like having the team around for 5 minutes is kind of crazy, and like having them dismantle over the course of the episode. I feel like it is such a byproduct of the time, because like I said, like naming the Arrowverse, like there were so many teams and so many concepts that they would be like, yeah, we're definitely going to do this, and then like almost instantaneously they're out of the playing field whatsoever. So I wasn't that surprised. I do think compared to the comics, the team is kind of like pretty consistent, but like I said, there's so many different iterations of the concept of Secret Warriors that there's really like no wrong way to adapt them, and I think in the context they did it well for how short it is.
And and Daisy and Yo-Yo were both like members of this team.
Yeah.
But Lincoln and Joey, I think, were created for the show.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay. So it's like, it's a little bit of a mixture business. And yeah, I'll be honest, like I a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, maybe I should read some Secret Warriors so that I can like have the knowledge. And then I was like, or I could just have Jenna.
Yeah, let Jenna do all the heavy lifting.
I'm too busy reading about gay hockey. It's really hard for me to read anything else right now.
Yeah.
If hockey players aren't kissing each other, I just don't want to read about it right now.
That's just the reality of it, guys.
Yeah. But I just want to plug again, if you haven't been checking out Jenna's YouTube channel, go read some comics. Like she fucking knows what she's talking about.
We call her the professor for a reason.
Yes. So we're gonna just do our thing, go through the episode. But Jenna, if anything like comes to mind about the comics while we're doing this, if you think of anything, just like spit it out.
Absolutely.
So we pick up right where the last episode ends,
yeah,
which is like Daisy and Lincoln are rushing to save the team. The plane was hijacked. And then we get like we see what Joey and Yo-Yo have been up to. We haven't seen them in a while. Joey's on his cute little date.
Joey likes boys.
I know.
Yeah.
We did know that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, we already knew.
Oh, okay.
He was the first time we met him, it was like the first thing we knew about him was that he was gay.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, that's why I was shipping him with Mac.
It's kind of like, I think it's really good that they were doing this 10 years ago in Marvel. It's kind of like that time the Russo was a gay man and had the courage to just play gay on camera. I think we all really broke ground with that representation. Don't you, Jamie?
Oh, yeah. Jenna knows it. Jenna knows how much I
was about to say, between that and how many times Jamie brings that up on our other show, like that is clearly a very prominent talking point in y'all's household.
It's like we have like a script in the bathroom that's like, this is how much we can talk about how much we hate Joe Russo. We watched Captain America: The Winter Soldier the other day, and Joe Russo has a cameo in that. And Tony goes, "Oh, there's that gay doctor."
It looks like a gay doctor to me.
Oh boy. So I think it's cute. Yo-Yo's practicing English, which is just kind of like she's got to speak English if she's going to keep coming back. Like it's a network show.
She's doing pretty damn well.
I know. I think people in the comments are like, maybe she did it too quickly, but like she's like really a smart lady. I think
I'm giving it to her.
It's been a while since we've last seen her. She's studying up.
She knows more language than I do. Yeah. Good job, Yo-Yo.
Yeah, crushing it. So then Yo-Yo and Joey have these little they look like watches, and I think we saw them get those last time we saw them.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
They're little like alert bracelets.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're on the plane, and I really like this scene. I like how there's they don't have any information, but they're like, all right, let's jump out of the plane.
Yeah, no, I like that they all. This is the thing. Like they're all. This is already like a really good team. Like they're kind of falling into line, falling into place, finding a rhythm. Way sooner than the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did. Like that's kind of why it sucks. I was like, you got a killer team here. Goodbye.
Yeah.
But no, I really love Joey. I love Yo-Yo. I don't like Lincoln, but whatever. He can. I really do wish that it was him that was the problem and not.
But I disagree, because then that would be boring.
You're right.
Yeah.
I just don't.
It wouldn't be as good television. Jenna, what were you feeling about this specific version of this foursome?
I like Tony said, I think that they're a lot of fun to watch together. Like I've seen people in the chat comparing it to kind of X-Force and Deadpool 2 of like, this team seems so perfect. Like they seem like they really want to have fun and jump out of a plane together. And then it immediately just goes to shit, like almost instantaneously. But yeah, I think like the dynamic between all of them was fun. It was funny because I think the last time I was on was Lincoln's first episode in season 2.
Yeah.
And so just kind of like jumping back into him a year later and seeing like him and Daisy's relationship, but still seeing Tony be like, yeah, he's not great. It's like, yeah, he didn't really evolve too much as a character by in the year since I've been on last.
No.
Yeah, it's true. I think I was looking at down, but I heard you laugh. It had to have been whatever Ward.
Well, it's just Ward rounded a corner in his Neo costume, and it just makes me chuckle every time. Like and then I adjust, and then I'm like, all right. But like every time I see it again for the first time, it's like, you're so sinister, aren't you? Yeah.
Little bad boy.
He's bad.
I like how everyone on the plane is like fighting back, but I think it's funny that just our core people all end up in a closet together. Like, they all found each other and got into a closet. I thought that was fun because there have to be other people on this plane.
Sure. No, I like that too.
Did you have to do any kind of backtracking with this, Jenna? Like where have these people been?
The previously on that played on Disney Plus, I was like watching like a hawk because I was like, okay, how much has happened that completely slipped my memory? Because like I said, season 3 feels a lot less like easy to define compared to like some of the other chunks of like the show itself. And so trying to remember like, oh yeah, and even explaining it to my husband Chris after the fact of like, and so Ward is possessed by this thing and he's evil, and he was like, oh yeah, I do vaguely remember that. But like, yeah, backtracking was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Chris, by the way, folks, has been on our Patreon. So if you haven't joined our Patreon, we actually do have a Patreon coming up in a couple weeks. So it's a good time to join because it's the 10th anniversary of Civil War, which feels crazy.
My second favorite MCU movie, and I'm very excited to talk about it.
Heck yeah. It's a good one. Let's see. It's the Secret Warriors show up, and this is cool. Like, even though it's brief, like it is cool watching them come in and like kick ass. I really loved Joey and Yo-Yo together.
Me too.
Someone in the chat said this, but like it's fun watching them speak Spanish together.
I think so too. It's really warm. I was like, I like that they have each other. I like that we have them. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the powers are cool.
Yeah.
So like Yo-Yo's powers are from the comics. Joey's, I guess are invented, but it's not. He melts metal, basically, is what he does.
Yes, and I guess in the case of the bullets that were fired at him disintegrated, that didn't
Yeah.
really felt more like a disintegration than a melting. But like, dude fucks with metal in a way that's
But
not Magneto.
Like
Yeah.
he's not. What's the classes like? What are the X-Men like? He would be,
Omega
like, the
level.
Yeah. Like he would, if he was an X-Men, he wouldn't be an Omega like
Yeah.
Magneto.
That's correct. Yeah.
But he's like if Magneto had like a half son. What's a half
Yes.
son? You can't have a half son. But
A half son? Oh, this is my half son.
I don't know how that would work, but something like that. Okay, so it's so funny when Lincoln's like, "I've got Malik." I'm like, that should be important, but he's just like, it's not even cool when he says it. Like, yeah, he has the big bad guy, but it is kind of lame.
Just that character's just never taken off for me, and he's not making any progress, as Jenna noted, and we'll see what happens there.
But you know what's not lame, Jenna? When Daisy fucking swings down from that chain.
I wrote it down. I said, I love when Chloe drops from the ceiling, because that's how she opened season 2, episode 1. Comes rappelling down from the ceiling. I'm like, ooh, fuck. And that's how I felt this time too. I was like, this shit works.
How do you feel about like her quake powers compared to the comics? Because like I feel like it's I don't know how they draw that. You know, like kind of a thing.
Anything like with motion through the air is always just very nebulous. Like it is very much determined by how much effort the artist really wants to put in. Because like my favorite character is Black Canary, and like sometimes it's full rings, sometimes it's just like a wave. Like I feel like Quake is very similar to that, of just kind of like it can be as detailed or as simple as they possibly want it to be. But I just will never forget the high I felt when she was first revealed to be Quake. Like that was the coolest twist in the context of this show. So like every time since then that I've seen her use her powers, I'm still just very happy about it, because it's like I didn't even think we would even be here.
It is crazy. Like even 10 years later, it's like, whoa, I can't believe they did that. And I think that's why some people are disappointed by the Secret Warriors thing, was because like it's like, oh, that's the logical next step for Daisy.
Yeah.
But again, like because it's such a good episode of television, like it also makes for a good twist too. That it does fall apart instantly. Like you can hold two truths at once.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like which I should have asked DJ. I should have messaged him and be like, what were your thoughts when you he'll be on again. Next time I'm going to ask him about adapting the Secret Warriors, because I'm just curious what they went through that. And because like of course Jonathan Hickman did these comics, and I Googled. I was curious if he's ever commented on the show and what he thinks of this adaptation, and I couldn't find anything. Jenna, have you ever heard him talk about this?
He doesn't really talk a lot about like any adaptations of any of his stuff. Part of it's also because it's like just so out into the ether, and like he did the Krakoa era, which is now in like video games, and everyone wants that to be in the MCU, but like he has not necessarily commented on any of that. I think he also, if I remember correctly, was like working on Marvel Studios projects like pre-COVID. So I think that's probably also part of it too. But I know like he and Brian Michael Bendis were kind of like the two architects of the initial runs of the team, and they're kind of the writers that people associate. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bendis has said something about it, because he is much more vocal about like celebrating adaptations of his stuff.
Interesting. All right.
Still more involved too, I think, creatively.
Yes.
With television and film. Yeah.
Definitely. So I like when they're like, we have our like core team trapped in this closet, and they're like, shoot anything that comes in the door, and then we get the cute little yo-yo knock.
I know.
And then we learned that she was practicing English for Mac. Like
dude,
that's really cute.
Guys, yeah. I've never shipped anything harder.
This is what I literally, next question, because later we learned that he learned some Spanish. It was like, it's cute. And I literally wrote in my notes, okay, he cannot be gay. No,
it finally happened, baby. Yeah, Max likes girls.
I'm finally accepting that Mac is not gay. So, and I was going to ask, are you shipping it?
I've like, you're always asking me since we've been doing this podcast, do you ship these two? I'm like, I guess they seem nice, or no, or whatever. But like this, I'm like 100%. Oh, breaking his heart, trying to protect her at the end there, and she thinks she's been betrayed. And that was the two of them. I want them back.
Okay.
I want them back very much.
Were you shipping them at the time? Do you remember?
I don't remember if it was at the time, but like rewatching this episode, I was like, oh, I ship it immediately. Like they are just so charming with each other, and like you said, like the dedication to learn each other's language like so quickly. Like his Spanish, as sloppy as it was still really cute. Like the scene between the two of them. So I ship it. I like am almost dreading researching what happens after this episode, because I'm like, I don't want them to break each other's hearts.
Oh, what's gonna happen?
You don't know.
I don't know. Oh my gosh. But I will say I'm I gotta say, I'm shipping it. But I'm pretty sure 10 years ago I was still holding on a little bit, to, you know. But that's, you know, what can I say? I really like where the way Yo-Yo is like recapping.
Oh, it's so cute.
It's
Yeah.
just them in the
She said it was her
locker room is
first
so
mission
cute.
like that, you know, or second mission, but like, you know.
What were you thinking, Tony, in terms of like it all happened and worked out so fast? Did you figure the other shoe was going to drop? What were you thinking at this moment?
No, I mean it didn't like didn't feel suspicious. I think it was just when Ward was like, we got someone on the inside, which is shortly after they, you know, escape.
Mhm.
They're like, oh, we got away and we accomplished nothing. No, we have someone on the inside. I was very concerned about that. And so I knew that was just kind of like our opening action sequence and we were getting into the meat now.
Did you remember this, Jenna? Were you like, because I messaged you like, I want you to come on Talk Secret Warriors. Were you like, why? What do you mean?
Yeah.
I was kind of like, is this really this short-lived? Of like, is this the Secret Warriors episode? Like you said, like the poster for this episode like made such a big deal out of it. Like all of the marketing really hyped it up, and then the team just immediately crumbles. But like the action sequence was cool. It was very short, but like I said, in this era of superhero TV, I was kind of almost used to that. But I don't know. It felt like there was still more to it than met the eye.
Yeah. Coulson's interrogating Malik. And we learned that Elvius, I already forgot.
I don't remember how they pronounce it.
It's Hive.
It's Hive. It's Latin for hive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We learned that he was a former slave to the Kree,
Mhm.
which is an interesting. Again, I like give me that like flashbacks.
No doubt.
Like I would like. I will say we're not going to get like a Hive kind of origin episode, but I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah, that would have been nice to see glimpses of that. Better than the well, you know.
But then it's like his own well.
His own well. Yeah, Powers Booth was so good in this scene, and it was kind of that monologue. It wasn't totally a monologue, but his exchange with Coulson was so rich and cool and nicely written and well acted. I was like, I think Powers might be out on this one. I was like, this seems like a goodbye monologue, because it was like, it was yummy stuff, and Powers crushed it.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about their whole dynamic, but I want to ask Jen. I want to ask you about Hive and the comics.
Oh boy,
okay. He's up in there, right? Right? Is this? Do we not know?
He's much less of just a guy in a Neo costume, as Tony kind of put it. Like he's much more just this kind of like ancient parasite of a person. Like there's definitely, again, like the Secret Warriors, like a lot of different ways to interpret him, as is the case for like virtually every Marvel character. Because it's like when it's all set in the same universe, when you can kind of just like adapt and change things as you will, that is really kind of been what the case with a character like Hive. But I think the Kree stuff is very cool. I can't even remember if that's necessarily in the comics, but like in the context of the MCU, I think that works really well.
Does he have a squid face? Does he look squid-like?
In some versions, I think, but I think in some it's kind of just more dependent on like what he chooses to project to the people around him.
That makes sense.
I better get a full look at that Ward squid face. I mean, I better get it.
Yeah.
They showed it to me kind of, but it was from the back, and I want that full like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Mark Kolpak would never let you down.
You're right. He's a good man.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So we get like this Lincoln and Daisy scene. We talked about this last week, or Jenna, but like the orb looks so much like the orb from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the same, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, I did a double take. I was like, is that the orb from Guardians? And then I was like, wait, no, it's there's a little bit of a different design. And I would have remembered if they had brought that orb into this show. And so then I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then like they have their kind of romantic bickering thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those like, yeah, she's right and he's right. Like they just need to communicate. That's great.
Great scene.
So I care about what's happening here. But then, so it's like the opposite. I'm like, oh, I don't care. But then we get like Yo-Yo and Mac on their little tour. Talk about how much you like that.
I loved it so much. I already said it. I ship it hard.
Well, I just specifically like the way that he's taking her around.
Yeah.
And like, like no kill. Oh, kill. And then that was a fake out later, of course, because we see the kill device used later. Yes. But we'll talk more about that. But I liked Jenna hearing him like explain that it used to be the SSR. Like there's like it's just like a cute little. There's like a lot she's learning.
Yes.
He's proud.
And then we've got like Fitzsimmons is looking at Mr. Medusa, who I never remember what his actual name is.
No, I don't remember his name. They said it, and I already
They
forgot. Have we established before that that Fitz can't handle gore? Because I thought that was cute.
I feel like we
you know?
have. I feel like that's definitely come up.
It tracks. I just can't remember it specifically, but I did like her pulling the skull off of somebody and him being like, "Oh, no,
Because they
no."
were in the lab a lot more in season 1.
Yeah. Not
so-
with cadavers very much, though. You know, like
Yeah, but they were doing. I'm pretty sure that this has been established, but
Fair
we
enough.
have not seen them in a while.
Yeah.
Do that kind of business. May is in this hospital bed. We hate to see May laid up.
I was very concerned about it. So before we established that the hive was only infectious of the minds of Inhumans, I thought May was going to be unknowingly going to be the person inside, as Ward had put it. I thought she might have been infected because of her. She was so out of it, and I was like, okay, she's medicated, and then they were shortly after we established her in the hospital gown and everything. There's like a meeting of the minds in Coulson's office, and she is not present, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then, that didn't happen. But yeah,
and that he can do this to
Inhumans, which we then
we've
established. Yeah.
Any thoughts, Jenna, on where everyone is right now in this episode, on the brain autopsy business, all this good stuff?
That scene was gnarly. Like her literally like peeling back the flesh. Like I even was squicked out a little bit just in the context of it. And like any episode where you have to nerf May kind of sucks. Like I get it in the context because she's just like so capable and so good at what she does. But it was like, man, she's in a hospital bed, just like bored for the majority of this episode.
Yeah.
Didn't stay for long. She was like, what the hell are you doing out of bed? And like she's in her fucking regular clothes, like trying to get shit done.
I thought I couldn't remember because when they were talking about how Mr. Medusa was like his body temperature was incorrect. I was like, is he gonna wake up while they're inside his brain?
I thought that too. I
didn't remember, and I was like really worried that something creepy was gonna happen. But
because it was the incubating virus or hive or whatever. So I also was like, don't take your eyes off that guy. He might snap awake. But I guess they were able to determine that there was like no brain activity, but still a warm body, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And then this is where Malik pretty much explains about the mind control. And then, the non-Inhumans are trying to figure all that out. Where were you thinking at first? Like, who were you suspicious of all of them? Did you, like, as the episode went on, were you changing your mind? Did you always think it was going to be Daisy?
No, I mean, like I said, I thought it might be May, but then it was like, okay, Inhumans only. So we get everybody cornered. I don't know. I wasn't, I didn't have anybody specific that I was suspicious of, but then you get that scene where the Inhumans sort of lock themselves away and have that exchange. That's very much like, John Carpenter's The Thing of like, it's one of us. Who are you? Is it me? And all of their it was a really well written scene. Like I didn't really have to suspend much disbelief. They did a really good job. DJ specifically did a really good job of establishing the geography of where everybody was at what time and where were you when this happened. I was looking for you, and like that whole investigation that they were having amongst themselves was really solid.
Yeah.
So I could not point a finger and say it was you.
Agreed. Well written. Jenna, did you remember that it was Daisy or
no, not at all. And I was in the same boat as Tony. I was like, I could make an almost convincing argument for everybody, either because it's like Lincoln just seems a little suspicious and kind of underwhelming as a character, or just like the tragedy of it being somebody else on the team. So like, yeah, I was fully buying into the scene too.
And like having like rewatching it so many times, like now I'm like, oh, there's so many little hints that it's Daisy, that do make sense, and it's also there's so many little hints that it's not Lincoln, in a way that like, because at one point I wrote in my notes like hate to be on Lincoln's side, hate to be agreeing with Lincoln, but like
he's grumpy.
We'll get to the him and Daisy scene, but I really like that scene for it's like probably my favorite Lincoln moment. So I like when Lincoln tries to come to help May and she smacks him. I love
to give her medicine.
Yeah. She's like just swats him away a little
Someone had to tell he's a doctor. Like that was funny.
Okay, so back to Coulson and Malik.
Uh-huh.
When Coulson said we were C&E Catholics, I had to look that up. Do you know what that means? C&E Catholics?
No, I think I missed that line. What is that?
Well, first, Jenna, do you know what that means?
Not off the top of my head, which like having grown up Catholic, I feel like is maybe a failing or maybe a good sign that I like don't remember. I don't know.
You're free.
So, I was also raised Catholic, and I'm like, what's that? And it means a Christmas and Easter Catholic.
Oh,
It's people
okay.
who like so you're only really Catholic on Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't know that is because unfortunately for me, I had to be Catholic more than just those 2 days a year.
Same here.
It's gonna be okay.
I know. We're fine. I'm over it.
Yeah.
I did have to learn a little bit. But it was funny when Coulson was like, "Sure, it's no death cult," and I'm like, "Well, is it? Is it not? We don't have to get into it. It's fine." Jen, I wanted to ask you about this moment when Coulson says, "I've met gods, gods bleed." Do you think that he was thinking about specifically Loki and how he got him a little in the Avengers? Like, I feel like he was trauma remembering.
Yeah, I think like Loki and Thor definitely both came to my mind. And like we've seen that Thor can definitely be like put through the ringer in the right context. So I just thought that line was really cute, just in the context of everything of like, oh yeah, let's tie it back to Avengers however we can.
Yeah.
I thought Thor when he said that, but then I'm like, no, now that you say that, definitely Loki, because he blasted him with the Coulson's revenge.
Exactly. I also I've said this before, but one of my biggest like sadnesses is that like we've never gotten a Coulson and Loki scene since post Avengers. Now that Loki is like a good guy and Coulson's I give me that in Secret Wars somehow. Like it doesn't have to be the same versions of anybody, but like just give me a Loki and Coulson moment in Secret Wars and I'll be so happy. Do you think, just for fun, Jenna, we talked about this when I was on New Rockstars, but without like obviously any spoilers, is there anyone like? Actually, you know what? I'm going to ask you this when Tony leaves.
Okay.
Let's put a pin in it. Let's put a pin in it.
What a tease!
I know. I'm so sorry to everybody involved. Let's see. Mac was watching the monitors, and I think it was dumb when he was like, "No, I'm seeing things," when Yo-Yo was moving around. But then he was like, "I think Yo-Yo scoped out the whole place." So like, that was weird to me. That was just like a weird bit.
I can see how that, like writing that in a script and then it getting translated to screen. I think something got a little lost in how it's made, how he sees it, and how they shot it and everything. Because she's really fast, and you see a glitch like that. It's not like, oh, that was crazy. It's like, no, she's the really fast one, dude. Like, she's bouncing around.
You did acknowledge that.
Yeah,
so I thought that was a little bizarre.
A little bumpy there.
Did you pick up on that, Jenna? Am I just...
No, it definitely was a little confusing in the context of the scene. I also wasn't sure if it was like, is it the trauma of having just gotten done with like the sequence from the beginning of the episode and he's just like exhausted from that? But yeah, I think it was just kind of like awkwardly written and then translated a little awkwardly.
Yeah, that's fine. So then what's going on here?
Daisy leads them into the trap.
Not yet. That hasn't happened yet.
I want to talk about it.
We'll get there. Fitzsimmons is like there's a lot of cute going on with the autopsy, but like, see any good movies lately? Are you asking me to one? And this is where we find out basically that the brain's infected. Which I think was like looked cool.
Oh yeah. See, that's a really good practical brain. I like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I've jumped around in these comments, but Coulson, like, there's like, we should ice them. Like, this is a scary thing.
It is scary, and you're establishing trust, and this is what they said at the end of this episode, that Ward, we've been talking about Loki and the Avengers, did the same thing. He tore the team apart. It was all, the design was to tear the team apart, and he successfully did that. It's a bummer.
Yeah. So Fitzsimmons notices that Malik's room, they have that kill device dead. Were you like, Malik's dead? Did you think that we were going to get an answer to how he died? Were you like, what the fuck?
When they showed that sort of grenade going off, I was like, well, I didn't see him die, so to speak. I was a little confused. I'm glad that we circled back to it later, because I did think that it did feel slightly open-ended, just because of TV rules,
Yeah, Jenna, if you don't remember a couple episodes, Malik saw his own death. But he thought that Hive was the one that killed him. Like, he misread the situation. But you do see him, like, you see him dying in a way that's like, oh yeah, he got quaked. Like, you can like, if you go back and watch Space Time, you can totally tell that's what's
interesting.
Happening.
Cool.
So that was a good little tease going there. We've talked about this in the past, Jenna, because it comes up sometimes, and I'm glad it came up again this week, where Yo-Yo says, "Aren't you a spy? Learn Spanish." Like,
or learn something.
Yeah.
Do some spy language school.
Does that ever bother you in this kind of thing of like, they should learn some languages, maybe?
It is kind of tropey. Like, I don't know. It becomes a fact of life once you watch enough hours of shows like this, that like there's always one character. It's either that or it's the age-old trope of like someone says a bunch of technobabble and then they're like, English, please. Like, there's always some sort of disconnect.
Yeah.
That's like we just watched Ultron and like Cap couldn't even follow her describing the twins.
She used like 2 science
I
words,
know.
and he's like, huh?
Yeah, bro, come on.
Yeah.
You can follow that. So we talked already about them all fighting in the room, and then okay, you want to talk about the
Oh yeah, I just was like, when they're kind of having this standoff with Coulson in 2 separate locations, or whatever. Like it was, I was like, oh, we're doing this thing again, where like Daisy's not like she's always going to be the outsider on the team, and I'm like, you need to just kind of go with Coulson on this one. Like we've done this game enough times where he's like, Daisy, you have to trust me, and she's like, no, I'm angry and I don't feel like I'm being heard and all this stuff. And I'm like, you by now you must know, right, that this is the correct thing to do. You have to be quarantined. These are your people. Let them know. And so I was disappointed when she was so resistant to that, and then was proud when she brought them into the room with Coulson, and she's like, okay, guys, I had to trick you. This is Coulson. Here's why. This is the thing. And then I was sad again when it turns out she's a hive mind person.
that was a good like double
Yeah.
whammy.
It was like a triple whammy.
Yeah, there's like a lot going on there. What did you think about that, Jenna?
I same as Tony, honestly, because again, like watching this episode, like practically fresh with like such a just faint memory of season 3, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think like the way that it evolved for her as a character was really interesting to watch.
Totally. And I think like Coulson thinking it's Lincoln since Space Time. Like he think like did you? I'm sure like at that moment you thought that was also.
Yeah, I was going to go along with it. I also just want to say that we kind of talked about this 1 or 2 episodes ago, but like this sort of white room, I'm just going to start calling it the problem room, because they've been using it so many times in these episodes where they're like, we got a lot of moving parts here. We need to freeze one of them so we can carry on with the story, and they put them in the problem room.
Yeah, okay,
I really like the problem room, and they're honestly using it incredibly well. Once you establish a problem room, you're not going to not use it. It really helpful as a writing tool. So I thought that was good.
I like that they have like it's so white, but then they have like the nature screen going on, to make it feel a little better. I like Jenna, if you want to talk about this, like just like they kind of do a little cool little fight here where they all get to use their powers against each other, which is like you got to see that, right? Like you can't not do that.
Yeah.
No, and especially when like the fight scene at the beginning of the episode was like so short. It's like, yeah, any excuse that you have for them kind of like using their powers against each other, like I'm all for it.
Yeah, totally. Like you don't want them to kill each other, but you like just want them to.
I just want to give me a show. Yeah.
Who in that room is the most powerful, you know? And let's see. Oh, when Daisy's talking to Coulson, like we now know she was like manipulating him, but I think it's so funny when she's like, it took so little to tear the team apart, and it's like that wasn't really little. It was like a mind controlling alien. Like,
pretty severe.
I think that you could like again, I know she was lying, but like in that moment, if you don't know it, like you can cut yourself some slack on this one.
Agreed.
And then we get Yo-Yo and Mac fighting, which is really sad.
He's like, I promise this is to protect you, and she didn't believe him, and now they don't trust each other, or she doesn't trust him, but they should be kissing.
Yeah. I'm really proud of you. I wrote in my notes, I was just like, Coulson saying he disbanded the team. I just went, womp, end of Secret Warriors.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that. Again, like I have to stress, like I really do think it was a cool way to trick us, even the audience. But you know, it also would have been neat to have a whole an arc of Secret Warriors.
I wrote a lot of notes on this one, and just for time, do you want to just skip the Fitzsimmons scene and just not talk about
that? How dare you? How dare you do that? I literally next to my note says Fitzsimmons scene 3 exclamation points. Jenna, why don't you go first? Speaking of shipping, like every other ship can burn, in my opinion. This is the OTP. What did you think about this scene, Jenna?
It was a lot cuter than I had remembered. I think the last time I was on was the pesto aioli like sandwich episode, which like that is like I remember Tumblr went apeshit for that episode and that scene. Like that was just like cementing that they were such a strong ship. And like in the context of this episode and just like where they are going in that like span of those 2 seasons, like it was so cute to see. I think like it's nice to see them actually be together after like the start of the show, just having them just be coworkers and like clearly have something between the 2 of them.
Yeah, I actually just saw, so I think I reshared it from the Lido account on Instagram. I just saw a video of a girl like specifically making that sandwich, like for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like let's make the sandwich.
Cool.
Nice.
And like now I really want the
We
sandwich.
should make the sandwich.
Yeah,
Why
we
haven't
should.
we made the sandwich
That's
yet?
crazy.
We should do it on like a special episode. Have the sandwich and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, we shouldn't be eating on.
No,
podcast.
no.
Never mind.
Maybe we'll make a video of us.
Let's
making
make
the
a video
sandwich.
making
Okay.
the sandwich. Make a cooking video.
Yeah, I love it. That sounds great. Tony's the cook of the family, but I actually make the sandwiches.
She
That's like
does.
the one thing I do is I
Oh.
make sandwiches because sandwiches are my favorite food. I relate to Fitz in that way. So okay, so they're kissing again. So Jenna, they've only kissed, I believe, once before.
Yep.
So this was exciting, and he like stopped and apologized. Tony, you got mad. You got mad.
I did. I threw my hands up and like, dude, this is the moment. The thing I really appreciate, and again, like props to DJ again. This is a very organic romantic scene. I haven't been thinking about them together romantically during this episode. And when they were sitting there frustrated and exhausted, I wasn't thinking about it.
Mhm.
And then I only started thinking about it when it started happening.
Yeah.
It was really, really, really
They have a
well
really
done.
good natural lean.
The lean is good. The staging of it is really great. And yeah, I was frustrated. Fitz was like, "Oh, I'm going too fast. I'm sorry." And I'm like, "Get this shut the fuck up."
And she's like, it's been 10 years.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that exchange between them after that and into like the full makeout was just really lovely.
Very flirty. Like it really is
Mhm.
like a great scene.
I'm so happy for them. And then when Quake starts destroying the building and it cuts back to them, I was like, they should be having sex by now. They should have been having sex by now. Like the fact that they were just like kissing there for 8 minutes really bothers
I
me.
don't think they could be like having sex in that moment. I think they need to be ready to like bounce at any time.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's maybe appropriate to have sex for the first time with each other.
I just was like, let's go. And then they weren't. And so I just was like, I want it for them. I really want it
Me
for
too.
them.
I think we all do. There are some people out there who aren't Fitzsimmons shippers, but like I feel like it's rare. I think
I'm in now,
I think,
you know.
yeah. I mean, Tony, Jen in the beginning was like, they're brother and sister to me. So
Yeah.
he's really come around.
Yeah, I've come around big time. They've earned it.
Mhm. Let's see. That was great. I'm glad we didn't skip that scene. Daisy, the Daisy and Lincoln scene. And this is where we find out that Hive got her, which I think this is great because like this is of the four of them who we care about the most, and it's the person we least want to see compromised.
Yep.
It fucks everything up,
Mhm.
and like I said, I got to give it to Lincoln. Like he's like. There could have been a reality in which Lincoln was like, all right, I'll get Hive with you. Because his conviction's not super his thing.
Totally true.
And so I appreciate that he was like, this is where I draw the line, actually.
I also appreciated that from Lincoln. I wrote no in my notes when they revealed that it was Daisy because I'm so bummed. It's good writing, but I'm really frustrated by it because we just can't catch a break on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I guess it's almost as if the show is designed for drama and tension.
What did you think about this whole scene, Jenna?
I thought it was great. And I think like just to the point of just it being Daisy, I think like having her continue to be haunted by Ward or at least like someone who looks exactly like him is like a really interesting way to progress their relationship. Like I was all for it just in that regard alone.
Agreed. I had that same thought of like, like I know it's not Ward, but it really does always come back to Brett Dalton's face. His gorgeous, handsome face is just always in the way.
Mhm.
But I do like Daisy escaping and like quaking the whole base was pretty dope.
Yeah, the destruction of the building.
Yeah.
A little stupid, just because like.
It wasn't destructive. It was like an earthquake.
Yeah, but like shit's falling from the ceiling and she's like kind of slow walking with her doing her quake business. I'm like, you can get hit in the head by a rock at any minute. I don't know if your quakes are protecting you from that.
Oh, I think they are.
I don't
Yeah.
think that. She doesn't have a quake force field.
What would you think, Jenna? Do you think has she ever been hit by her own debris? I don't think
From
so.
the ceiling.
I think like she can kind of do like a little force field around herself or at least like just kind of deflect anything that might harm her. Like I don't know. I didn't think that was atypical, but I totally get having that reaction though.
All right. Well, if you and the professor think it's okay,
Yeah.
I'll let it go.
But I like the you know what it reminded me of? All of the showing where all they are together. It reminded me of an American Beauty when everyone reacts to the gunshot.
What a hilarious comparison. Yeah, this episode was a lot like American Beauty. Yeah.
Listen, I know that that movie is has a different view of it now, but I do actually really love it.
It's not cool anymore.
It's not.
No.
There's a lot of problematic things about that movie, but I actually think it's still a really beautiful, great
Yeah.
movie. It's just a shame who stars in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, it made me think of it. I can't help where my brain goes.
So you've seen that movie once or twice. It happens. Yeah.
I went through a phase when I was a teenager.
We all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the movie, Jen?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then we get the post-credit scene, which is the post-credit scenes this season have just been weak. I'm sorry, like they're not
taking
fun.
a piss.
They're mostly just Ward or Hive like giving part of his plan. It's just like it really does like I think we're on a high, and then these post-credits take a dive, and I think it's because it's like, well, we have to have one.
It does feel obligatory.
Yeah. Do you feel that way, Jenna?
Yeah, it seems kind of like a weird note to tack onto everything, but part of me, I was like, is that just because I don't have context for like where the most of this season has gone and where it's going to go from here? But like, yeah, it really felt like an afterthought after the way that the episode itself really ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I am interested in like what's Hive going to do with $960 million.
I'm interested in that too, it was just such a the idea of it being like, Daisy's walking out of this, causing this total destruction, and Coulson's screaming at her, and then you go to black, and then it's like a scene about money. I'm just kind of like, all right, and like a post-credit scene has to make you go, ooh,
Yeah.
or it has to make you laugh,
Mhm.
or some sort of endearing button or something like that. But that was not doing great on the
I
post-credit
love
scenes.
that they keep doing it. Like it's a fun thing to do. Like we're part of the MCU. We're gonna do this, but like this season specifically is just like, okay,
Yeah.
We're taking a bit of a dive. Jenna, was there anything else about this episode or about Secret Warriors in general that you wanted to comment on?
More just about the episode itself. I had totally forgotten that the Iron Chef guy is in this season, so that was kind of a delay.
Mark Dacascos.
Yes, yeah, having him in the fold of this show, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he was on here for a good stretch of time, and he did great. Like even in the scenes that are just about accounting, like he's still making it very engrossing to watch, even though it is kind of underwhelming. But yeah,
he had a great fight with Ming-Na Wen. Like they
nice.
Really
okay,
went to
I
town.
do vaguely remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. I talk about him a lot because I'm just generally I'm an Iron Chef fan, but also like seen a couple of his like 80s and 90s martial arts movies, and like he's just a cool dude.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I mean, that Malik murder was brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really, really nasty, and I liked it a lot. Yeah, that's it.
Agreed. Yeah, like, and again, like it is interesting that like we saw like me watching Space Time now. I know I know Daisy kills him. So like in Space Time, it's like oh, I know what this is, and it's being misinterpreted because when somebody can see the future, that often happens. Misinterpretation.
Yep. We just watched 12 Monkeys. That happens a lot in that movie.
We did just do that, and that is true. Good movie, good film.
It's no Jungle Book.
Oh, true. Tony, who's your MVP of this episode?
Powers Booth.
Powers Booth.
He's out the door. It was I knew he was going out the door because the scene he was in was so good. It was nicely written. He performed it beautifully. We've had a couple of people involved with the show and on this season, and everybody gushes about Powers Booth and both for his talent and his professionalism and all that. So he's a cool dude. And sad he's dead. And he was great on the show.
It's hard for me to pick a MVP for this episode because it's such an ensemble episode. And so I feel like I kind of just want to give it to Joey and Yo-Yo as a duo because like, they're coming in to this already established universe, and like just I instantly like them. I'm rooting for them. I like their dynamic, and I feel like for me that's the two of them.
Totally, man. I'm game with that too.
What about you, Jenna?
I would say, Yo-Yo and Mac. I feel like their scenes were such a bright spot and like were just so delightful. Like that definitely stood out to me.
Amazing. So a couple history things. One is sad, and it's that this was Powers Booth's last acting job. Was this episode? He died a year later on May 17th, 2017. So this was like his very last appearance was this episode.
Wow.
So it's sad. That's like such a sad thing.
That is sad. I didn't know that.
Yeah. All right. So I gotta I gotta break some news to Tony.
What? Why? What happened?
Originally our guest this week was going to be Juan Pablo Raba, who plays Joey.
Oh yeah.
And my bit was going to be, I was going to have him tell you this, but he's not here. He couldn't make it. He was going to come, but he had a trip. I think some plans got changed. You're never going to see him again.
Oh man.
I know. Joey is done. This was the last of Joey.
I really like him.
I know. So I was debating if I was going to tell you, but it was like it's confusing.
Yeah, sure.
Because he doesn't get an ending. We're all together. It's just like he's gone.
You exhibit good discretion when it comes to revealing when I'm not going to see a character again, especially when I like them.
Yes.
That's a shame. Okay, bye, Joey. You were great.
Yeah, what bums me out specifically because he was like the gay character, and we don't really there is another queer character who's like around, but she doesn't like get a romance, and like Joey was our chance.
You've been saying it from the beginning.
Get a romance.
The problem is it's not gay enough.
That's a bummer. And like he was so likable, and I believe the reason he didn't come back was scheduling conflicts with he was on Narcos.
Word. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was the reason.
That's a really good show. I don't understand if you got to do that.
I think it was just like that kind of thing. So that was a bummer. And I'm sorry that he was none, but like he couldn't tell us about Secret Warriors. He would have been able to give us that information.
That's true. Yeah.
I think it all worked out.
I'm not upset.
I'm not upset either.
Yeah.
And actually, I've been thinking a lot about this, so I'll just say it out loud on the show now. When Colin Douglas reached out, I was thinking like, oh, there's going to be these opportunities to talk to people who we aren't on the show anymore. And so like we got lucky with Colin because he happened to watch the show. Mm-hmm. It's like when Bjorn was on, he happened to watch the show. Yeah. But so many of these people have not watched beyond what they did.
Right.
And so I've decided that between seasons 4 and 5, that was a 6-month gap between the release of those seasons. I think we're going to do a little special series where we're going to try to get people that we've missed. Yeah. But we're far away from that. That wouldn't start until summer 2017. Or I'm sorry, 2027. Mm-hmm. So that's just an idea that I had that Cullen inspired.
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, that 6 month was rough. That was that was like the longest 6 months of my life waiting to go because I won't give anything away, but the season 4 cliffhanger was like, what? And then
and you had to wait.
And then I had to wait. Mm-hmm. All right, Tony, say some goodbyes.
Yes. So thank you to Ryan Mira of Yellow Pills at Yellow Pills Music on Instagram for doing our theme song. Thank you to Stephanie from Eclectic Muses on socials for doing our artwork. Thank you to our producer, Maria. Thank you, producer Maria.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Jenna. It's always great to have you on.
Thank you.
All right, get the fuck out.
I'm going to get the fuck out. I'm leaving the room.
I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving the room. I'm taking the...
I like that y'all are sharing one set of AirPods.
It's the only way to do it. We've really tested out, we can't connect, but I do like that we've changed to being in the room together. I think it adds something a little, but yeah, we have to share AirPods. Oh boy. Okay. So what I was going to ask you before that I decided that we didn't want Tony here for was, who do you think, we talked about this in New Rock Stars, and that's why I think it'd be fun to ask you is who do you think from S.H.I.E.L.D. would be the most likely to show up in Doomsday? And I'll just say, I don't think anyone, but I think it's going to be Secret Wars, but either way, what do you think?
Yeah, I would say with Doomsday, no one really comes to mind. I feel like there's already so many moving parts to that movie that seem like I don't know where anyone from S.H.I.E.L.D. could naturally fit into that, and it wouldn't just be a hype moment that kind of is just all right. Compared to everything else that is going on, I feel like Secret Wars would be a much better place to kind of have them be part of a big battle scene with everybody. That would definitely get a pop from people, I feel like.
Yeah, I feel like I will be disappointed if we don't see Coulson in Secret Wars.
Yes.
In any way. It doesn't, I don't think it can be the show's Coulson because I don't think they can explain that he's at the end in LMD. And that's too much. But if we get some kind of alternate version of him, that would be great. And obviously Daisy, I think, makes the most sense in terms of getting somebody to fight. But I've said it a million times. If we can get Jarvis up in Endgame, anything can happen.
Yeah. And even like you
So
saying Loki and Coulson like deserve to kind of like meet each other. Like I now really want to see that. I'm shocked like What If never went there and like having the two of them kind
yeah,
of in the same room as each other. Cause like even you don't have to have it be the Coulson that's in the quote unquote present day, but like having the Loki in the present day kind of like atone for his sins, I think would be really interesting.
yeah. He could like die saving Coulson or something.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's a little too on the nose, but I wouldn't mind it.
Hmm.
Um, I just like want to address that some people in the comments, I think are some of our new listeners. I forget who it was. I apologize, but somebody asked what made Tony decide to watch the show for the first time, and I'll
Hmm.
tell you, it's me. It's just like I love it so much, and we just decided why not turn my love for the show into a podcast and share it with the person I love the most. So that's really it. So a couple things from this episode, like it's just like crazy that Yo-Yo and Mac just
Hmm.
they're a couple. They're gonna be a
Yeah.
couple, and I'm excited for Tony to see their journey, because season 4 it's like pretty devastating. They're but like they make it, they stick it out. I feel like they come close to breaking up, but I believe that they um our end game. I do think that they're still together by the end, but
Good.
I think so. I'm getting a reminder that we do get some Hive origin. I'm not surprised that I forgot that because I don't care. It's like, yep, that makes sense.
Do you
Oh
remember
yeah,
if he has the squid form in the origin stuff
yeah,
or like do you...
oh, I don't
Okay.
remember that, but I know we see his full squid form. Yeah. Yeah, they do break, yeah,
Okay.
and Mac and Elena break, yeah, they break up, but they get back together. All right. So what's interesting to me is like this whole episode of like who turned
Mhm.
is like it's a good episode, but they do it better in season 4 with self-control when it's like who
Mm.
are the LMDs and all that business, because that's my favorite episode of the whole show. So
Mhm.
and then it's also, I was thinking about this, like as of this moment, Daisy is now gone from the team for a long time, because
Oh.
once she is unhived,
Mhm.
she like leaves Shield,
That's
and
right,
so
yeah.
it's like a while before we get her back in, which is interesting, I think. Yeah. That's that. But we're getting so close to Ghost Rider and all the good shit. I'm so excited. Jenna, always a pleasure. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on and teaching people some business. Where can they find you in your pods and your YouTubes and all that stuff?
Pods and YouTube's plural.
Yeah.
It's at Hey, it's Jenna Lynn on all social medias. And like you mentioned up top, I host a YouTube channel called Go Read Some Comics. And I'm very proud of it. Like go subscribe if you somehow have not already. I know a lot of our listeners from the other podcast, Phase Hero, have kind of shown their support. But yeah, definitely would appreciate subscribing there. And then yeah, you can listen to both of us on Phase Hero every week.
Yeah, we're talking Daredevil's
Daredevil.
only, yeah, I can't believe there's only 2 episodes left.
I know.
Uh It's like really crazy, but that's been fun.
Hmm.
So check that out. A reminder: we are back on Sunday at 1:30 Pacific with Colin, which is going to be fun. And then the 2 following episodes, I already have guests, so
Nice.
we're cooking, we're cooking. Thank you guys everyone in the chat. Thank you to everyone listening later. Thank you again to everyone who found us through New Rockstars. It's been a pleasure. We'll see you Sunday.